Gridley Trail will take you all the way. Great ride from the back there, about a half a mile to the top is about 6 miles, so pretty cool. We're gonna go up and start the trail, but we're gonna go to the left and stay in the lower lands of what's considered a fire road there. It's a little rocky, and so we should get some little bit of feel for the fork, but unfortunately really I won't get to feel what it feels like on a slidey situation on loose ground, which is what we ride on here in Ojai. I guess you'd have to say, you know, 99.9% of the time. So here's where I'm testing a double ring on the front chain rings. I've never ridden these. I still have a triple ring, so this will be a little different. I'm still in what's considered the big ring out of the two. I still got a lot of shifting left, so I can still make it easier. Let's try that. Alright, that's a better. So still in the big ring and not too bad. Front fork standing up right now has got way too much bob to it. It's going up and down on me probably over 2 inches. So definitely I'm going to lower this down to what's considered the hopefully oh, that's only stiffer in the rear, and let's see, now that's looser, so I'm going to go ahead and shift it up so we're in stiff until we get to the trail. And he told me I could lock the fork out right here, so let's hope that I don't forget, like he says, and have no front suspension, but I should be able to tell. Okay, we're getting hard to pedal here, and I went up another 2, and not too bad. No chain grinding. Of course, my bike's as old as can be, but I know what a nice bike ride's like. So these should be better, of course, which makes me smile, but as expensive as can be. I want to ride 20 of them before I make my decision on a bike that's between $5,000 and $10,000. And I'm an ex-professional racer who can handle a bike. I'd be pissed if I bought a bike because it gave me a hard-on looking at it, and a month later I find out that it downhills like shit and it climbs like shit. You know, you never know. I just, you know, today's day and age is unbelievable about, you know, take the $12,000 bike and run it around the parking lot, and you know, fuck, get out your credit card, we'll make you a deal on it. Wes is on his hardtail Specialized he just bought. It's a really nice bike. It's what was it called, Stump Jumper, I believe. So it's like one level below their really race bike, you know, and of course heavier parts too, so the race bike would just be really, really lighter. Maybe that one's really light. It's got carbon wheels on it. I'm really gonna enjoy watching a 265-pound man who can downhill pretty well. I'm not saying we're coming down Mammoth from being lifted by the ski lift, but I am saying him and I have fun going fast downhill. So anyway, This should be an interesting day, as I said. I'm climbing pretty well still in the big ring, and I still have another gear to go. So I'm going to go ahead and give myself that gear and try to save a little for the next ride if I go ahead and intend on doing it. Maybe I'll even ask them to let me do this one for another hour. So something to think about. And Wes is right there. He's doing good. He's standing up on that bike, which should stand up a lot better than his Santa Cruz, because his Santa Cruz is just probably 5 pounds heavier, and he's got all that suspension and pivot points in the back, which, you know, they'll say today they don't have much flex to them, but, you know, as being somebody that's been in the, you know, building industry for all my life, also over 20 years, those things start to wear out, and if not replaced, you have more frame flex and the possibilities of, you know, what I think would be breaking the carbon. And maybe it takes 3 years to do it, but, you know, if I spend what I wanted was the Specialized Epic, the new one, you know, and it's 10,000, a little more, 10.5, and I'm reading in the Mountain Bike Action that out of the saddle the full suspension seems to spin, so spin the tire. So that immediately puts me in question of whether or not I would want to find out a week after I bought it. So here I am with this silly idea of having all of you companies out there go ahead and get involved in my business, where we only want a few bikes, not all, not road bikes, but a medium large and an extra large. Most men cyclists have long legs for races, and you know, you could send us a small for women racers and small men sometimes that have fun just mountain biking, you know. I mean, your biggest place that you sell bikes to is your backyard riders who got a hard on by looking at the bike and probably still don't know much of the difference between it because it's such a nice bike. So there you go. Maybe the average backyard rider doesn't get that feeling. He thinks it's all much more wonderful and might not have those same feelings. He doesn't downhill hard, and he's just happy that he's got a fork on the bike so he can go a little faster or feel a little safer when he's descending. But you know, I came around in racing in the days of starting mountain biking and just doing it as a backyard sport, and I didn't even have a shock on the front, and of course it wasn't even thought of putting a rear shock on any bikes for years after that. And when we first came up with the Manitou and the RST front forks, that were really some of the companies that spent their money on us as we first came into racing. And the forks, you know, weighed 4 pounds and were really rubber bumpers, and so if you've been around for the years, you know what they were designed like. And you know, I'd prefer to just run a straight fork, you know, without it being a full suspension fork, just because I have that capability of downhilling so well with all that, without all that stuff. I might not be putting out to my complete limit, you know. I don't want to crash on a downhill. You're trying to win a race by not dabbing and not having any problems getting off your bike is walking and having to slip out of your pedals and walk and get yourself back in there, and you know, all that extra momentum, or excuse me, all that extra strength it takes to get you going again on a hill is just hard on your legs. You know, you need to keep the momentum going forward as much as you can and keep that spin going in your legs. When you don't have the spin in your legs, now you have to put out more power to go ahead and get yourself any kind of speed back up to getting yourself at the kind of spin you want to be at comfortably, and you know, just like I'm saying, it takes a lot of effort. So here we go up the bottom of Gridley. I don't see Wes, so I'm supposing he already made it. I'm looking in here, already bumped my pedal on the rock, so here we haven't even got on the dirt yet, and I'm bumping. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in the lower gear now, just because we're getting steep and it's pretty spinny in the full. This is as full as I can get it as far as, and it's definitely a different feeling. And I'm up higher over the front, so like I was saying before, I don't have that capability of keeping my front wheel on the ground. And here I am to sections I go through every day, no problem, and it's got a little rain to it, but I can't even hardly ride it. So I don't know, maybe the tire feels good with the air pressure. So like I was saying, I got off the bike, now I'm getting back on it, and of course I'd rather be on speed plays because I could get my darn foot in the pedal and get going. But here we go. So 2 pedals, and we're off. And there's Wes waiting. Maybe he walked this section, I don't know.